Hi beautiful souls, welcome back to the channel, Beautiful Awakening with Shantia. Welcome to another pick a card reading. So in today's pick a card reading, this is special. We are going to be looking into your 2025 summary. So I just want to give a brief intro first, just referring back to the predictions from last year, seeing how those lined up. If you want to check in to see if the predictions lined up, go ahead and check out the 2025 forecast if you're interested. I'm re-recording this intro because I recorded this during a Mercury retrograde, and for some crazy reason the file was just non-existent. I don't know if my finger slipped and I accidentally deleted it, but I'm usually very vigilant about having backups and whatnot. So I'm re-recording this intro, and we're going to keep it a little bit more brief than I did last time. So I'm probably going to cut out, it's like about a 20 minutes of camera time is gone. But I had the audio recording and I had my card table camera view recording. So you'll get to see that. You may not get to see my face for part of the intro or for the introducing of groups or at the start of the first pick a card reading. But at the very least, at least I have the cards. So that's what's important. So it might be a little bit off. Hair's a little messy. I was watching it back and I was like, you know what? I probably should have brushed my hair. I probably should have. But you just have those days, right? All right, so 20 minutes of the intro may be missing. In the near future, I want you guys to be aware. So because of the predictions and how they lined up and how they kind of blew me away, because last year was the first time I decided to really deep dive into the astrological transits, and that's what I've been doing this entire year, just sifting through these astrological transits, making shorts about them, making long deep dives about them, and they've been teaching me a lot about how planetary consciousness works inside and outside. And I'm just blown away with some of the predictions, so I decided to do a small video where I show clips from predictions that actually ended up coming true in the collective. And honestly, for me, pretty much everything came true. That's what blew me away. So I'll be making a video about that. Go ahead and be open to receiving that in the near future. On my other channel, Soul Awakening with Shantia, I'm continuing with the Munster Inside series. For this series, I'm uploading a part 3 where I do a deep dive into Vedic chart analysis profiles. So I did it for 5 people, and then the other person, I just talked about their story as an example. And then in part 4, we're going to be discussing TV shows and movie references. And the reason why I love to dive into TV shows and movie references is because they have a creative perspective that is not rigid. You know, reality, when we look into history and the choices that people make, is based in reality, and a lot of times it's flawed. But from an imaginative perspective, you have movies and TV shows that actually give you a more in-tune, imaginative look into how you can resolve these issues that one goes through in life. So we're going to do that for the part 4, and then we're also going to be discussing, and I'm going to give an epilogue, so the final conclusion for how everything lines up. Afterwards, I'm going to be doing a moon series. So if you're interested in understanding the meaning behind moon in your chart, it's very important. I talk about the planets on this channel, but it is blowing my mind with how impactful the planets are in our lives. Like sun blew me away when I was studying that series. I was like, wow, that's like your dharma. That is your pathway in life. That's like your purpose. Whereas moon is definitely your perception. So if you want to know about that, then be ready to receive that around December. So before we introduce the group, so let's just go ahead and take a look at the thumbnail. All right, so this is relating to the theme that I actually picked up for 2025. So I was actually picking up this X-Men theme, and I refer to the X chromosome as the divine feminine Shakti life force energy. Now, because I'm recording this after I already did the reading, I already know what cards popped up, and boy, did those confirm the theme of what we were supposed to learn in 2025. So we can look at the previous thumbnail here, and we can look at the summary thumbnail and see how those relate to one another. How are you feeling? I think you should ask yourself that question, everyone. How are you feeling about how this year went? What did you learn about yourself? And I could tell you, I learned there's no cap, just like I learned every year, but I learned there's just so much more to learn every year. So 2024 was the year of Saturn. It was the year of 8. This was about the dark night of the soul for a lot of people. It was about training your dragon. It was a year of the wood dragon. 2025 was the year of Mars, the year of 9, and the year of progress. So this was about harnessing your Shakti life force energy. So my prediction originally was that 2025 was going to be an amplification of 2024, but from a better, more freeing perspective. So it's like you're more prepared, whereas that Saturn year was really tough. I think a lot of pressure, a lot of psychological pressure. And then 2025 is like, okay, own it, harness that power, that Kundalini energy inside of you. And I'm so looking forward to, and I hope you're looking forward to 2026, which is going to be the year of 1 and the year of Sun. So this is the year of the fire horse. 2025, this year has been preparation for leadership coming up in 2026. So leadership means action, right? So this is where our action steps are really going to be impactful. A year of Mars, action steps, but year of Mars is more focused on willpower, but this is the year of completion, year of 9, right? So year 8 is about stability, stabilizing certain energies. Year 9 was about completion, completing certain cycles. It was more of the acknowledgement of certain cycles because we're still going into a continuous theme of completing certain cycles as well. But next year is going to be a beautiful year for things to initiate, to start, to take off, and look forward to the 2026 forecasts that will be coming up. I'm also going to be doing a deep dive 2026 astrological forecasts as well, where I'm already taking lots of notes and I'm being blown away by everything that's coming through, how everything's lining up. There's going to be a huge stellium in Sagittarius right at the end of the year and starting into the new year. So for it to be the year of the fire horse, that ain't no coincidence, right? It's just science. And I've already done meditations for the groups. I kind of know what's coming. So I want you guys to get excited for this upcoming reading here. Now for this reading today, when you're choosing your groups, I want you to think of them as themes. So from now on, actually, all of the readings, I want you to think of them as themes. Don't think of it as like, oh, group 1 is what's happening to me. No, I want you to think of group 1 as a theme showing up in my life. Group 2 is another theme, and group 3 is another theme. So they might be showing kind of a bit of the same continuous ideas, but you're getting a little bit of a different perspective on that theme. So always be open. Oops, sorry. Always be open to listening to all of the groups. And for this reading, I want you to be open to listening to all the groups. It is a longer reading, so definitely pace it however you want to pace it. Choose a group you resonate with the most. A lot of the same messages did come up for each of the groups. But I want you to start thinking of each group as themes because we are a collective. We're all going through very similar experiences here. Okay. With that said, thank you guys for being here for this 2025 year that it's been for this wild ride. I hope you learned a lot about yourself, and I'm excited to bring you into these groups where we get to talk about the summary of your lessons and what you should be celebrating. If there's anything that I get from Divine all the time, it's that the resilience to keep going is in and of itself is a win-win for humans. You know, even if you're in a jail cell, in a prison cell, and let's say you're not a very conscious person, you didn't really take conscious actions, even then, if you're continuing to live and stay alive, that is resilience. That's you mastering your Mars, your willpower, which is beautiful. Let's introduce the groups. So I pulled nakshatra cards for each of the groups, came up with an oracle card design using AI. It was pretty fun. And yeah, that's what we're coming up. I also pulled crystals, so I didn't do any meditations. I didn't take any notes. I just wanted to tune in and be as present as possible in this reading with you so that I can tune into whatever message wants to come through in this moment. So group number 1, you got Purnavasu. Group number 2, Uttada Bhadrapada. And group number 3, you have Ardra in combo with Asta. Let's go ahead and start our meditation. Here is your singing bow. All right, group number 1, if you chose Purnavasu, we're going to go ahead and start with you. Hey, group number 1, welcome to your reading. So I'm just going to go ahead and look at your oracle card. I'm going to see what wants to come through. I'm not really setting any intention to need to meditate. I just want to pick up whatever wants to come through. And I think we should just go ahead and start with your oracle card design here. So let's zoom in really close. Okay, so the reason why I chose this design is Purnavasu. This card is connected to the 3 of Swords. So we have a woman who's sitting on a throne. She's holding an arrow, and there's electricity, and then there's the sun coming out behind through the stormy clouds, and she is peaceful and content. And it's giving us a little bit of Game of Thrones inspiration. And it was interesting when AI was coming up with the designs. The first designs they came up with all look like Daenerys, but you know, honestly, it wasn't quite right. I wanted something a little bit more. I don't know. This one came out perfect. I absolutely love how this one came out. Like the throne she's sitting on, it looks quite graceful. It looks quite elegant. Not too hardened or intense here, even with the 3 of Swords behind her. And, you know, those 3 swords could look really intimidating, but I think in this case, it doesn't have to be intimidating because it can be a representation of some sort of mastery that you're doing with yourself. So it looks like she's learning how to master her mind. So this has been a year. A culmination summary is that you've been learning how to master your mind. So perhaps you've been given some obstacles, situations, or scenarios that have challenged you, challenged your mental thinking, have pushed your mental capacity, and you've had to find a way to come back to center. And as we see, learn how to hope in spite of tragedy, learn how to hope in spite of difficulty or doubt. And the arrow that she's holding is supposed to be a representation of the divine astras. So the divine astras are like weapons. They're arrows that, you know, a deity can shoot and that arrow will return back to them. The arrow is also a representation of returning home safely after travel. So if you actually check out the new Frankenstein movie, they perfectly captured this concept of Purnavasu. I don't want to drop too many spoilers, but their ending was perfect as far as what this energy truly is about. And then we had Purnavasu native Robert De Niro in the 1994 version, which I reviewed in my Purnavasu video. Interestingly enough, I didn't know they made a new version of Frankenstein, but it's perfect because I actually already recorded my perspective around the older Frankenstein, but I think I'm going to add some notes about the newer one because they actually hit the Purnavasu theme beautifully. So Purnavasu is in 20 degrees Gemini to 3 degrees Cancer. So this is about mental mastery, mastering the mind. Purnavasu is a nakshatra that's ruled by Jupiter. So this is when we're tuning into that divine wisdom when it comes to our reprogramming. So instead of us listening to ideas and thoughts that are just around us and just absorbing, consuming whatever programming we've been fed since we were kids, well, now we're being very intentional about what we receive, and we're choosing the Jupiter essence. Jupiter is connected to the guru. The guru is the darkness remover. So Jupiter is actually here to help remove the darkness, remove the shadow. It's a very inspiring nakshatra. So maybe this year has really taught you a lot about you learning how to inspire yourself, coming out of difficulty, coming out of hardship, you found that you could actually do it, that you're perfectly capable of overcoming challenges, and that it's those challenges that have actually taught you what your real strength is. So yeah, it's helped you to tune into, she looks like a priestess. I'm actually getting more priestess energy than queen energy. So it's taught you how to like master your intuitive abilities and self-control. The way that she's holding the arrow feels like self-control. So it's helped you to master self-control. It's helped you to see past the illusion. So the challenges are not there to make our life horrible and for us to not like ourselves or feel doubtful about our confidence or who we are. The swords in our life are there to actually sever the illusion. So the pain that we experience is actually an illusion. It's an illusionary experience. And if you're able to sit still enough, it'll pass you by and you'll be fine. So this has been a challenging year in terms of you learning how to not be reactive. So we got that the mental mastery, and then we have emotional awareness. So perhaps this year you've also been tuning into your sensitivity, how your emotions come about, move about, and that initial Cancer energy is us dipping the toe in the water when it comes to our emotions, us learning how to feel in a very refreshing way, for example. Very refreshing way. So Purnavasu, here we have on the Nakshatra card, we got good again, wealthy again, visible infinity. It's connected to the deity, the cosmic goddess Aditi. And Aditi is the mother of 33 sons. Actually, she birthed sons, which I thought that was interesting. But she's this energy of a goddess of abundance, goddess of caring, sensitivity, accommodating, nurturance. So this is where we're learning how to nurture ourselves. Maybe this year you had to learn how to nurture yourself, how to take care of yourself. Maybe you felt like you were actually given time of silence to actually take care of yourself. And this theme is going to carry throughout, since we're going to be having this transit, it's a total of 10 months. So this transit goes all the way into June 18th of 2026. So you have all this period to learn how to tune into this. But I think you've been introduced into the initial part of what this transit means, and there's so much more to look forward to, which is great. Okay, I will pull anything else from that if I'm being called to. So I think this matches perfectly. You got the smoky quartz here. So let me just go ahead and stare into it, and I will see if I can pick up anything. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's definitely giving me Frankenstein vibes. I mean, I'm seeing an X, but it's a combo, because I'm seeing, it looks like a body, and it looks like it's moving through the fortress or moving through the snow. So any sort of references to snow is a connection to Saturn. So it's about this pressure or psychological pressure we feel and experience. And this figure almost looks like it's limping. So it looks like it's kind of struggling through the snow. And that limp is supposed to be a representation of, maybe you're injured or hurt, but you keep going on. And the X, this has been a really good year for you to cleanse and purify what is not working, what doesn't work for you, what has not served you, what previously has brought you into the darkness or into that frustration, into those darker moods in life. I think you've been learning a lot about this. Like, oh, this is what causes me to get into these darker moods and stay in this state. Now you're very aware of what doesn't work. And now when you learn what doesn't work, you learn what does work. So contrast is always great. I think you benefited a lot, because I'm seeing like an X. It's like closing off a spot. You know how you see the caution sign when there's like a crime scene, or there's some like repair going on somewhere, or there's somewhere dangerous. So that's what I'm seeing. It looks like you've learned how to tune into, you can call it boundaries, or a sense for knowing what's dangerous or what is not for you, what's not serving you, what's going to cause you injury. So anytime we experience injuries, or you could say like those harsher karmic experiences, especially in adulthood, that's not happening by accident and because we have bad luck, put on top of us, it's because sometimes we haven't learned the lesson, or we're a little too stubborn to learn the lesson. We're too stubborn to realize that we're creating that holographic reality for ourselves. So usually what happens is that reality becomes harsher and harsher and harsher, depending on how much you're resisting it and you're moving in the wrong direction. So this has been a year of learning that certain things that you've done in the past has not served you, that was the wrong direction for you, or that was the wrong path for you, and now that has put you on path for the thing that you really feel called to do. So yeah, really beautiful cleansing work. Yeah, and I'm seeing like injuries or gashes, so this is about pain. Yeah, it's been a year of pain, definitely a 3 of Swords, here with that. A year of pain, like what causes pain, understanding the psychology of pain, understanding the process of pain, how it functions. But also, I always teach this, is it's part of a psychological thing that we perpetuate ourselves. We don't have to continue life through a painful state. We have to actually learn what causes the pain and what causes the comfort. And I think Purnavasu is connected to sort of comfort or contentment. Usually Purnavasu natives like to be surrounded by lots of books that they like to read, or a comfortable space that they like to be in, because they're sensitive to their environment. So this has been a good time for you to learn what you're comfortable with. Yeah, and what I would say about the creature in Frankenstein is that part of the issue was that he didn't really know that he deserved to be loved, or he deserved to be cared for, because he wasn't told that. He was essentially told he was a monster, something's wrong with him, but he was sensitive, he wanted love, he wanted care, and he went through life not fully understanding that he deserved that, like he could actually manifest that. So till then you're just like, oh, I'm being punished. And then you realize, oh, I can choose this. I can consciously choose the different way. And that's what I'm seeing. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some cards. And we'll see whatever wants to come through for you as far as your summation reading goes. Group number 1. Okay, looks good. Look at that, we got a queen. We got a Queen of Pentacles. Oh, wow. Abundance. So Aditi is also, I think I said that, but Aditi is connected to, she's a goddess of abundance as well. So this is about learning what abundance is. Yeah. I like to talk about this one a lot. There's a strong difference between what is abundance and what is like money. They're not the same thing. Abundance is about a flow of resources. A flow of resources. Okay, let me go ahead and pull another card for you guys. And wealth is about well-being. It's not about money. So what I'm seeing responsibility. So I think you've been learning what is your actual responsibility. How do you actually create wealth in this world? And this has been the year to realize that your wealth is being created from your health. Your wealth is being created from your mental, spiritual, emotional health. And that's your responsibility as a human. It's to be responsible for yourself and taking care of thyself. Taking care of thyself. Okay, let's see what else wants to come through for you guys. So this also tells me that you've been tapping into your purpose as well. I'm also picking that up. You got Justice card, Divine Law here. I get what I give. Yeah. This year has also been about you understanding your purpose, is what I'm hearing. So the Justice card is about karma. It's about karma, it's about karmic justice, it's about consequences. So you've been learning about what are the consequences of certain choices that you make and how you invest into yourself. So the Queen of Pentacles, she's very good at investing in herself. She's very good at taking care of herself. And she likes to be pampered. I've had visions about this. I was like, oh, she likes to be pampered. She likes her makeup. She likes her self-care. She likes to take a bath. She likes to, put on her natural scents and oils and lotion her body. Like, these are things she likes to do. She really likes to take care of herself. And it's really interesting because I think the throne, it looks quite elegant, but it kind of looks similar in the design in the background, the ornate throne she's sitting on. Yeah, and this throne is a product of your own manifestation, of your self-care here. So our throne, let's say we have a spiritual throne, right? Our spiritual throne becomes more ornate, more beautiful as we recognize our own inner beauty. When we recognize our own inner beauty and we play into that, we invest in it, then it gets to, magnify, it gets to multiply, it gets to expand further. So there's an expansive beauty I'm seeing here, inner and outer. We get fertility. So there's some manifestation. There's something you were supposed to be learning about manifestation this year. Like, what works in terms of how you manifest. What do you want to manifest? When you set certain intentions, what happens? When you don't set certain intentions, what happens? I mean, we're always setting intentions, whether we're aware of it or not. It's just understanding and recognizing what kind of intentions have we just set for ourselves. Yeah, and the Justice card brings us to the scales. So yeah, this has been an interesting lesson around karma and resources this year. Okay, let's see what else we want to, or what else will come through for your summation reading. White Witch, be the light. Yes. Priestess-like energy coming through. So this year you've been learning that you are a priestess. You have intuitive powers and capabilities. You are a multi-sensory being here. You're wise. Now, I always like to joke that I'm an old man deep down inside, but I'm an old man in a 30-year-old body. I'm not an old man in an old body. I'm like, no, I'm in a 30-year-old body. I'm a 90s baby. I definitely have certain preferences that of my generation. There's certain things I like, I watch, I consume. I'm not cut off from the world in that sense. I actually am interested in a lot of how everybody thinks in the world. But yeah, so this has taken me back to your purpose. So this has been about maybe you realizing you're part of the 144 sacred mission. We all are, but it's about realizing you are it. You're here for a purpose, for a reason, and you're here to learn about yourself. And it gets to be a beautiful, unfolding, abundant journey along the way. So you've been tuning into your purpose, your capabilities. Maybe this has something to do with healing. Usually it all does. It has to do with healing and how we go about dissolving our own karma and then helping people to learn how to dissolve their own karma. I heard someone say something to the effect of, oh yeah, that might be karma, or you might have some karma. I'm like, might have some karma? Did she just say we might? I was just like, everything I look into, the more research I do, everything is about karma. And it's just been the word has been so dirtied and so mucked up that people think it's a bad thing. Karma is just consequences. That's it. And it's consequences that protects us from ourselves. It protects us from our poor habits and way of being and existing in this world. Yeah, so you need not be afraid of karma. Karma is just consequences. If we didn't have karma, we wouldn't have, criminals being put in a jail cell, or we wouldn't have all these things unfolding. It would just be pure chaos without consequences. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some more cards for you guys. Guide. Beautiful. This is kind of poking out, so we'll pull that. Healer. What did I say? Am I psychic? Okay, so group number 1, you've been realizing you're a healer. You can heal yourself. That's what the Queen of Pentacles, by the way, that's what she's about. It's not about, I'm going to try to change my messaging a little bit. Entrepreneurship, I believe in, but it's not about, the Queen of Pentacles wasn't here to be a businesswoman. She's here to be abundant. That's different. Abundant means being able to experience a flow of resources and being a resource or resourceful to other people as well. and someone who knows how to be resourceful. Queen of Pentacles knows how to be resourceful. She knows how to be helpful. She knows how to provide people with relevant information that will help them to heal, take care of themselves, nourish themselves mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. That's a Queen of Pentacles. So you are a healer. So you've been tuning into your passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. Oh my goodness. Did I just not say that? Did I not say that? Wow, this is powerful. So this has been a year of you really learning how to tune into your healing capabilities, learning how it works, how it operates, and then how to share it, proliferate it with other people. You've been realizing you have an inner guide in you. We got represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. This is powerful. You know, once we realize that the divine is in us, oh my goodness, there's no stopping you. You know, there's no stopping what you can do in this world when you realize the divine is in you. It's a part of you. And it's such a beautiful energy to just want to honor. And the way that we feel called to honor it is by sharing our gifts, you know. And I've heard people say, oh, you know, it's not your gifts. It's just or I don't believe in gifts and talents. It's just a capability. I'm like, no, I think the things that we have are gifts, not because I'm the special gifted one. It's because I feel like I've been given this. I've been given it either through DNA, lineage, or through just working on it. But either way, it's divinely blessed, right? It's divinely created. So I see everything that we can use in our arsenal of tools. So how to say it? I see it as a blessing. Yeah, so the shadow attribute, let's go ahead and read that. Taking advantage of those who need help. Failing to care for oneself. Ooh, that's important. Yeah, that happens all the time. And I've noticed that people actually do that unconsciously. They take advantage of people unconsciously because they've been programmed to. Maybe they think it's a dog eats dog world, or, you know, hey, I need money, so I'm just going to do whatever I can do to get it to survive. Or they're in constant survival mode. So, yeah, they do some shady things to get things from other people. And then taking care of ourselves, how are we supposed to help other people to heal themselves or work on themselves if we're not doing the work, if we're not embodying it ourselves? So this is the year of, like, you got to put your money where your mouth is, literally, with the Queen of Pentacles. This has been the year of put your money where your mouth is. Don't just talk about it, be about it, live it. For the guide shadow attribute, we have places financial gain and control over imparting insight. So this means that we place our financial situation over all else and control. Yeah, a lot of people do that unconsciously too. You know, it's a survival thing where they're like, well, you know, I gotta pay the bills, I gotta do this. And, you know, it's kind of crazy, especially like looking into Eileen Ronudo's background. She was a prostitute, she was a sex worker. And it's like, well, why didn't she just like find another way, a different way to live? And she was just in constant survival mode since she was a kid because of what abuse she experienced. So she didn't know how to get out of it. She was stuck in the loop. And then she saw herself as a victim too. So that part didn't help. Let's go ahead and pull some more cards. Yeah, and this Purnavasu, gorgeous priestess sitting on the throne here, she looks so regal. Her skin practically looks bronze. Like she's found the divine, the eternal within her. We have here House 11. I was going to pull another one, but I have more cards to pull. So we have House 11, friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. So House 11, I like to see as just a divine network in general. And it's about consciousness, collective consciousness. So this means that We have a divine network that's always supporting us. We don't need a big physical people network to be supported in this world. That's the weird thing about the world, is we put so much emphasis in a physical representation of things that we miss the inner representation. The divine network is this inner network within you that is like kind of like the lightning, right? It's like branching out, and it's connecting all these it's like neural connections, synapses, electricity being made to establish a broader network. So this network is actually internal before it becomes external. So this is about information, the passing of information, the passing of conscious ideas or futuristic thinking that we're taking in, and then maybe you are sharing it with other people. So, what I've heard before is that before we can get to our 11th house, we have to work on our 10th house. So 10th house is where we understand more of our dharma and our contribution to the world. 11th house is when we're sharing our knowledge with the world, sharing our insight with other people. So 11th house isn't about how other people can benefit you. It's about mutual sharing. So it's like, okay, let's share information, but also let's think about what we're observing. Sorry, yes. I meant to say absorbing, but I said observing. But yes, it's the same thing. What are you absorbing? What are you observing? What are you watching? What are you consuming? What kind of content are you feeding your mind? I don't know about you, but this has been the year, when something doesn't resonate with me, I just click out. That's been that kind of year for me. If something does not resonate with me, I just click out. Because I'm like, okay, it doesn't resonate. And then, because I like learning things, but I want to learn things that kind of resonate with me. If it doesn't resonate with me, I'm like, okay, not meant for me. Okay, let me try I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this a few times and just pull the one at the top. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, the kiss. Nice. This card came out a while ago. Yeah, so the kiss is the connection. It's that it's initial contact between you and divine, actually. That's what the kiss is. So this is romance. I talked about this in my conscious coupling video for the Rahu and Aquarius Ketu in Leo transit. It's happening until, I think, the later part of next year. But this kiss is about that initial connection with those. Again, I'm talking about the divine network. So how do you come into contact with the divine? It has to be like, you got to lean into it, right? You got to lean into that kiss. And then they lean into, because they're just mirroring you. So the more you lean into divine, the more they lean into you. And then you guys finally get close enough to make that contact. And then boom, there's that sort of electricity that's created. And then the connections form. So we have a connection, we got the hands. So this takes me to connection. And then we have the crescent moon, which takes me to intuition. Trusting that which you cannot see. Believing in that. Okay. We're going to go ahead and close out your reading. I'm going to pull a affirmation card and roll the... Oh, that was funny. We'll pull another one. Okay. We have here body, physical health, body image. I create my own beauty. I take care of my body. Outside and in, I feel and look my best. Yeah, so this has been a really powerful self-care month for you to learn how to take care of yourself. Again, the Queen of Pentacles likes to be pampered. I finally learned how to do my hair. Yes, it's sad. It took me 30 years to learn how to do my hair. But, you try everything and then some, and then you're like, oh, this is how to do it. I get it now. Yeah, it's very funny. Okay. We have here general statements. I will get to where I want to be and enjoy the journey. I will get to where I want to be and enjoy the journey. So perhaps this has been a year of patience for you. You've been having to learn how to be patient about the process. Maybe there's something you're wanting. And this has been a year of resilience. Like, okay, I believe I'm going to get there, but maybe it's not going to happen quite just yet. But what I can learn to do is just to embrace the journey along the way, not feel like I have to rush into this next situation. All right, let's close out your reading, group number 1. Okay, we have Aquarius in the 5th house, moon. Ooh, that's nice. It's like a Libra ascendant, so it's where the opposite sign is in the opposite, or the opposite, sign is in the opposite house. So moon in Aquarius. Okay, so this is what I'm hearing. They want you to celebrate this. This has been a year for you to really tune into your creative abilities. And this is what they want you to take with you moving into the next year, 2026. Of course, when I do the forecast reading, you'll see even more what's going on. I did a meditation for that one, so I'm actually excited because I know what's coming up. But this has been a time for you to learn how to reprogram your mind and your subconscious mind. You know, we have the connection to the crescent moon here. We have 11th house and we have Aquarius. So this is about the divine network. It's about your inner network, your neural connections that are happening inside of you. We got moon there, so that's kind of like your subconscious mind playing into it. What are you perceiving? How do you perceive the world? Also, moon is about a sense of safety and security. And this is the Graha series I'm going to be working on coming up in December, is the moon series. I've already made my list. I'm just missing a couple. I need a couple houses where I couldn't find people yet, but I already made my list of the houses and the transits and the people I'm going to be talking about for that series. I'm hearing you're learning how your magic works, right? And you're learning how things connect and how your creativity works. So moon is about a sense of safety and security. What you're finding a sense of safety and security is in the 5th house of creativity, but it's coming through the lens of an Aquarius. So it's like detached, it's like higher conscious, higher ideas, futuristic ideas, or higher conscious ideas. People say futuristic, but from a divine perspective, Aquarius is it's the height of air signs. So it's about mastering your insight, learning how to master your insight, learning how to master consciousness, more and more climbing up into those higher levels of consciousness and receiving the highest quality information available to you. So this has been cool. It looks like you've been exploring internally, sensitivity wise, like what ideas are really inspiring to you, and you've been doing something creative with it. You know, you've been sharing it, you've been making stuff with it, pondering about it. But this is beautiful. This is bringing us to the energy of self-reflection. So perhaps you've been spending some time in self-reflection, really thinking about what ideas matter to you, what ideas you want to support, what ideas you want to represent in this world. Awesome. And last thing I would say, it looks like this has been a really powerful year for you to understand how your creative force works, learning how to access that. Now that you've learned how to access that, continue to share that with others. Group number 1, I hope you like that reading. Subscribe to support. You can comment down below, be respectful. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hey, group number 2, welcome to your reading. Looks like you guys chose Uttada Bhadrapada Nakshatra. So off the bat, I will talk to you about Uttada Bhadrapada, and then I'll do some scrying with your crystal. And if I feel like meditating, I will tune in. Usually I just channel whatever wants to come through as I'm speaking. So Uttada Bhadrapada is in 3 degrees, 20-minute Pisces to 16 degrees, 40 minutes Pisces. So this nakshatra is completely immersed in Pisces. It's the 26th nakshatra, and it's connected to the serpent of the deep. So this is a nakshatra which is connected to serenity, stillness, and learning how to master our Kundalini Shakti, harnessing our Kundalini Shakti life force energy. So I think that's really fitting for it being the year of the snake. What did transit through Uttada Bhadrapada? I think I don't know if Saturn did a little bit of a transit there. I think it might have. Oh yeah, it did. It did. Yes, I recall it did. But Saturn's doing like, retrogrades, and it's going back and forth. And if you watch my Saturn and Pisces video, part 1 and part 2, I talk about these nakshatras. Part 2 was a discussion talking about, it was a video exploration. I used movie references to paint an analogy for how these energies work and operate. And Uttara Bhadrapada is pretty intense because it's connected to like the Count of Monte Cristo sort of like energy, which is like this deep, dark, shadowy side. Now it's very interesting because I always think that people have different perspectives about nakshatras, and what I've learned from studying nakshatras is that every single person has a shadow side. Every nakshatra has a shadow side. And Uttara Bhadrapada, considering its advanced energy in Pisces, its the shadow side can be particularly intense because this nakshatra is ruled by Saturn. So there's like themes of karmic penance. There's themes of intense psychological pressure connected to this nakshatra. So that means like usually in these natives, there's a lot internally going on, but you don't really see it on the surface because it's going deep down inside of them. And in my part 3 series, I actually have I had some people with part 1 in the part 1 series who had this nakshatra, but in my part 3, I also have someone who has this, who I'm going to talk about. And yeah, this energy is intense. So, people can easily hide what's going on behind or underneath the surface. So this, on the other side of this card, we have 5 of Cups here. And because it's AI, I couldn't get them to spill the cups over so it looks good. I mean, I probably could have edited it, but I left it because I was like, you know what? Maybe there's a reason why those 5 of Cups came out the way that they did, with one being big, and then you have the 2 others flanking it on the side. It's symmetrical, and they're all standing up. So this is supposed to be a representation of how we can turn lemons into lemonade. I think maybe this has been the year for you, group number 2, where you've been learning how to create lemonade from lemons, sour situations or dynamics that have been unfolding in your life. And because Uttara Bhadrapada is specifically connected to stillness, it's actually perhaps stillness that's been helping you to tune into this level of mastery, because especially with the Uttara Bhadrapada, this is a very magnetic energy, which means that this energy doesn't have to do everything and then some to get things done, but instead this person knows how to essentially manifest experiences to happen to their benefit if they wanted to, without trying that hard, because internally they desired for it, and then they sort of rested into a receptive state and they were able to get it. So this has been a really awesome year for you to learn how your receptivity works. That when you rest and you kind of sit back, things come to you. And this is very much the opposite of what we're taught in the world. We're taught that we have to go try and do and get all of this and that. Uttara Bhadrapada is one of the most powerful manifesting nakshatras. And I'm also hearing that sometimes it'll manifest opportunities, like doors opening, fantasies, things that you wanted or desired for. Sorry to mention this, but I think there was someone else who had this nakshatra who's a very good manifester. And sometimes it can actually manifest, because every nakshatra has a shadow side, it can manifest darker opportunities too. But you're not supposed to act on them. So this nakshatra is kind of crazy, because it's like you kind of have the ability to like manifest your dream scenario or situation and get it. But whether it's coming from pure intent or not, it's totally dependent on the individual in that body. Some of us, people have dark fantasies, and some people have, really nice fantasies. But either way, this nakshatra in and of itself can be quite indulgent. But either way, what I'm getting to, sorry, I think I'm channeling some interesting energy and insight right now, and I'm getting really excited about it. But the biggest thing that we're picking up, let's go ahead and take a look at this card here. This man looks like he's kind of in a relaxed, almost like a I don't know if you want to call it joyful, but it's like a very pleasant space. And he's exercising restraint. For some reason, I'm hearing restraint, especially with the way that the clothing is draped over his arm. It feels like it's kind of holding him back, but like elegantly. He's in this moment of pause, of restraint, and there's these really intense snakes behind him, and they look very fearsome, but he looks peaceful. So this has been the year of you learning how to access your shadow side, your darker side, and being at peace with it. You know, no longer needing to act on it or express it, but instead just making peace with it. It's like, you know how people have that like dark dialogue going on in their head? Like you hear it, but you don't follow it, you don't listen, you don't fall into the fantasy. You know it's a dark voice in your head that's talking. That's part of our human journey, is to learn how to master our shadow, to integrate it. And this is where the Monster Inside series, I think, will really relate to this nakshatra if you're interested in checking that out. Learning how to master that shadow side, not letting it, unleashing it here. And by holding back and remaining restrained, you manifest. You things just fall into your lap. Opportunities just fall into your lap. That cup flips upside down, and then it gets bigger. The Tadavajrapada is very powerful nakshatra because often, like, people who go through very dire and difficult circumstances have this nakshatra, and then they're able to come out of that darkness. And in fact, they're able to manifest all the things that they wanted. All the things they ever desired and dreamed of. Now, whether they should indulge in it or not, that depends. But this guy has mastered his Shakti life force energy. So, 2024 to me was about taming the dragon. 2025 was about mastering or harnessing your Shakti, your snake, your life force energy. So instead of being scared of the snake, we remain unbothered. So this was an opportunity, group number 2, for you to learn how to be unbothered. Remain unbothered. So this energy is the later lucky feet. This is the Cinderella nakshatra. Cinderella, before she had her opportunity of manifestation and whatnot, she served her penance. That's what it was. That story was not there to tell us to feel bad about Cinderella. In fact, we should have seen her as an example for what it looks like to serve her penance. She energetically came out of victimhood. We saw her grow out of victimhood, interacting with her fairy godmother, her higher self. As she interacted and engaged with her higher self, her fairy godmother, she came out of victimhood. She started to see the divine in herself. She started to see that she was powerful, capable, beautiful, and deserving and worthy. And then she just, bam, manifested it, because underneath all of that victimhood was a pure heart that loved life, that was gentle. So as soon as she let go of that victim story, her manifestations could come to fruition. So this was the year for you to tap into that. Group number 2. Okay, let me see what I can. This is a wise nakshatra. It can be shy, patient, reasonable, serene, calm, boundless. This is where you tune into the universal mind. You allow the destruction to happen. There's that connection to Shiva, but you don't resist it. You allow natural things to fall away. All right, I'm going to look at this crystal we have here. I think it's called the solstice crystal, and I'll see whatever I can pull from this. So I'm seeing like a hermit-like energy, like an old man in the snow. So this is giving me Saturn energy for sure, and wisdom. Walking through the snow. When we walk through the snow, that's a representation of walking through difficulty, difficult circumstances, difficult illusions, moving through the illusions, the temporary illusions. I'm seeing ghost. So this has been a really powerful year for you to face your fears. Yes, you've been facing your fears this year. Yeah, and I'm seeing definitely a divine network that you're connected to. I'm seeing a lot of divine, like ascended masters, sources around you who are offering you this insight and wisdom. Let's go ahead and pull some cards and see what wants to come through for your summation of 2025, group number 2. Oh, fire. 7 of Cups. So Seven of Cups represents two things. It either represents our dreams or it represents delusions. It represents our inner seeing or it represents a fantasy, a fairy tale, a make-believe, right? Very Cinderella. We have, this is Venus Scorpio energy. Yeah, so, oh, yeah, so it's fantasy illusion, wishful thinking. So this has been a really powerful year for you to discern past the illusion. There's a lot of illusions. There's layers, heavy layers of illusion. There's a lot of layers of illusion that we are distracted by. And until we're able to acknowledge what's real, what's not real, we're able to tune into that inner seeing, we're not going to know what's real, what's not real. Right? So this has been a powerful year of discernment. The way that discernment works is it works with intention. You're the magnet for the truth. If you want the truth is yours. If you have a lot of limiting beliefs, you have egoic preferences, it's going to block you from the truth. It's going to make it more cloudy. If you indulge in the 7 deadly sins, it's going to make it more cloudy as well. Right? So sometimes we want the truth, but we're not willing to give up something we were comfortable with previously to get it. So I think this has been a really powerful year of maturity in terms of you realizing, oh, if I really want to access this truth, I need to let go of this delusion for myself. Okay, let's see what else wants to come through. Also, life, anything's possible is what I'm hearing. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up. Yeah, so we got the moon, so that's another reference to illusions as well. So the moon is connected to our sense of safety and security. Like, how do we feel safe? How do we feel tuned in? This is our subconscious mind. So this is our programming from the time we're brought up. Our mother, our relationship to our mother is a reflection of how we feel safe and secure in this world. You know, if you felt like your mother was there, then maybe you do feel pretty safe, secure, and grounded. If you felt like your mother wasn't there, maybe you feel like safety and security feels unstable for you, and you're having to learn how to stabilize that. So the moon card, you know, I think it's kind of unfortunate that sometimes people attach a negative meaning to it, because moon, why is it the sun card means all these great things, but you pull out the moon card and you're like, oh, that means someone's lying. And I'm like, your moon is your mother. Your moon is your connection to safety and security. And the moon is powerful. Like, I was tuning into this the other night when I was making my list of all the people I want to use for my moon series, is the moon will decide whether you're seeing the truth or a lie. So it doesn't matter how much the sun illuminates the world. If you are perceiving the world through a distorted lens, you will not see the truth. You'll just see you'll see lies coated in truthful clothing. Like, it's just a mask. You know, it's not the truth. It's just wearing the mask of the truth, what you hope is the truth. So this has been a very powerful year of discernment. How to not be deceived. How to not misperceive. And sometimes people focus so much on, like, I don't know, drama. So there's so much focus on drama. There's so much focus on, like, we have an inner drama dialogue. Yeah. And it's constant chatter. It's just, you know, it's always saying all these things. And doesn't make it true. You got to be able to, like, discern and not act from that. Oh, you know, our head starts making up stories about people all the time. Oh, she looked at me weird. She must not like me. You got to learn how your mind works, your subconscious programming. It's like, yeah, we're always going to be a little warped in terms of what kind of stories we're making up. Okay, we'll pull some more cards. Now we got Neptune, Pisces. Neptune is in Pisces, by the way. So it's about learning how to transcend illusions. So we got Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. Yeah, so the way that you don't get caught up in illusions is you stay grounded. You know, a lot of people are worried about internet, and us being constantly, what do you call it, stimulated. And I'm like, but if you root yourself in truth, you will not be caught up in the hoopla. You know, you won't be caught up in the drama. You'll be able to just like flow through everything peacefully. You know, your phone won't overstimulate you. So perhaps meditation is a tool you've been using. You know, like this guy, he's kind of meditating. But meditation, what I've learned this year, is not about just like sitting for like 5 minutes to an hour or whatever. Meditation is about your state. It's your state. You can live in a meditative state when you exercise restraint and you observe and you hear that chatter, but you don't follow it. You don't believe in it. You're just like, oh, you know, I hear the chatter, but I'm just going to go through life peacefully anyways. That's powerful to be able to do that. So this has been a year that has challenged you to stay rooted and grounded in spite of delusions. And Neptune in Pisces can give you both, right? It can offer you dreams, access to ideas, inspiration. It really is, I think, more powerfully to those older souls, what it helps them to do is it helps them to transcend false realities. It's not about like, you know how Van Gogh was on drugs? He had a ton of Pisces in his chart. He was on drugs. He was a Sun, Venus. I don't know if it was Sun, Venus, Mercury, but he definitely had Sun, Venus there. And he was just kind of delusional. Like he was caught up in the delusion. He was all up in it. Like he was so lost. Whereas like an older soul, you know, can experience the delusion, but or see it, observe it, and then transcend it. And they don't get caught up in the drama of it all. In fact, a lot of Pisces people get caught up in a lot of drama because of that. It depends on how they process it. Like if you're processing your emotions, you won't really get caught up in drama, but the karma that comes with cup energy or karma that comes with water energy, especially if it's in your chart, is learning how to master your emotions and learning how to engage with people, because it's always about connections and others too. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull some other cards and see what else wants to come through. So how do we distinguish reality and know false from truth is truth. I mean, learning how to access truth and exercising it, as in observing it. So the best way to know if what's true and what's not is to receive the insight from divine and then practice it. Apply it to your life and see if it works. You know, study your life like you're a scientist. Does it work? Does it not work? If it works, then it's probably the truth. Okay, let's see. There's a practicality to divinity. Okay. Oh, nice. We got 2 houses. We have house 1, individuality, self-image, and approach to life. And we have here friends and like-minded groups and humanitarian beliefs, house 11. I like this combination of these 2 cards because we are getting a reference to the self and the reference to the self in relation to everybody else too. So this has been a really good year for you to distinguish your own energy from others, to not get so entangled or caught up in any distractions around other people's beliefs and ideas. This has been a really powerful year for you to reestablish for yourself what you truly believe in, what feels right for you, what you want to do with your life. Really listening to that. And then house 11, it's also connected to the divine network. So you've been connecting to the divine network, and this has been helping you to reprogram, to stop panicking, not leaning into this delusional program about worrying about your needs being met, or just worrying about anything. Anything that we worry about is a program. To worry about something is a program. So this has been an opportunity for you to relearn or unlearn that and learn something else. To integrate, to download a different software into your system. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this three times, and then I will pull a card from the top. We got the Hunter. Nice. It's definitely giving me first house energy. So it's cool. These lines look like a projector. They remind me of a projector. So it's like our eyes are the projector into this reality. So when our eyes are open, when we wake up, we see the world, and it looks a certain way to us based off of our eyes. And the horse is a reference to freedom. It's symbolic for freedom. It's symbolic for individuality. It's symbolic for free-spirited essence. So this has been a year for you to learn how to project your reality differently. Are you projecting it so that it looks painful? Or are you projecting your reality so it looks uplifting? Whatever you project is what you get to experience. How you perceive life is what you get to experience, right? And the way that we change our perceptions, we transcend, we move through consciousness in here. Mantras, you can call it your imagination, your intuition, your inner seeing. This teaches you to see life differently. And so now you're looking at the world and it doesn't look like this scary place anymore, where it's like, oh, things are just so horrible. And now it looks like a fun place to learn, to experience people, to have adventures, right? So this has been a year for you to learn how to really see life as an adventure and not see it as just this disappointment, and understand that your projection on reality was really determining what the outcome is or what life gets to look like. So the Hunter is also connected to like Mirashira or like Mars-like energy. And this is the year of Mars. So maybe this is the year for you to be intentional, for you to exercise your willpower. Our willpower, either we're being, like if we're in the ocean, we're feeling the pressure of the ocean, and the ocean, the psychic ocean, is just maneuvering us into whatever reality we feel like it is, or other people are teaching us it is. Or we're exercising our willpower and we're saying, well, actually, I want to see the truth, the reality for what it is. And as you're opening yourself to the truth, the waters start changing. And then you start sitting more still and more still in those moving waters. And now the waters are moving around you, but you have somehow mastered to sit very still in the water. So now the water isn't swaying you anywhere it wants to. That's what I'm seeing. Learning how to master your willpower. Okay, let's go ahead and see what else wants to come through. Oh, okay. Oh, we got 3. We got Queen Energy, Mediator, about meditation, Child Divine. Beautiful. Okay. So, yeah, Moon Energy is connected to that feminine divine presence as well. We got a Queen. Radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Shadow attributes, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. Yeah, so the Queen energy is about someone who is protective, who radiates regal energy, kind of what we're picking up in all of these oracle cards for sure. All of these people seem to be emanating some sort of royal essence within them. So you've been learning how your divine feminine energy works and operates. It's protective, it's caring, it's supportive of others. It's not arrogant. When people say, oh, no, you're wrong, it doesn't get mad just because people tell them that they're wrong. They, receive whatever criticism or feedback with grace and then move forward. Something, I got a comment about this. Sometimes what I see people say, like sometimes people say some like rude things in comment sections, right? And the person who created the video will like respond to it. And they'll be like, oh, okay, or they'll like it. And I'll be like, why are you liking that? You're just like giving people permission to like be like, I wouldn't do that. Okay, I'm like, if someone said something rude, I wouldn't even, honestly, it's not even worth responding to be honest. But in the world that we live in and with the digital media, people feeling quite brave on the other side of the computer, people will say some things, and I think the best dignified response is just to not react at all, to just keep going on go on with your life. You know, everyone has an opinion about everything these days. And as far as I'm concerned, like if you don't have anything positive to say, right, or to contribute, if you don't have anything to contribute to discussion where you're helping people to learn more or understand more, then it's not really worth commenting. So if you don't disagree or you don't like something, I think it's just worth it to not really say anything at all. Now, granted, I have said some things in comments. Just, I don't know, a little sass. It comes out every once in a while. Okay, I'm human. I definitely got that sass in me. But for the most part, I try not to do that because I'm like, it's not really worth it. You know, the drama is just not really worth it. So the queen energy to me is about responding to people respectfully, but also knowing not everything is you don't have to respond to everything. Not everything is worth responding to. You know, I like to respond to, you know, people. I mean, my response is my videos, okay? My response is my art, and that's just how I operate. Is I just come back with, because I'm a hermit. I live in my spiritual cave, and I don't really like to dive into the comment section like that because I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive. So either way, I don't want to be swayed. I don't want to be swayed into being persuaded to make videos that other people will like just because they like them. Or I don't want to be swayed into feeling like bad about myself because someone doesn't agree with me on something. I don't want to be swayed either way. I just want to like create. That's it. So that's my role. And I think I might be a little ahead of the game in terms of how other people are doing things. There are people who've completely turned off their comment section because they feel like humans are just not responsible enough to be respectful. And I totally get it. And I totally get it. I totally understand why they do that. That's kind of the future. That's where we're going, unless people can learn how to modify the response. So I always ask, I ask that people be respectful. I don't say that, but yes, please, please be respectful in the comment section. Okay, so we got mediator, gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. Shadow attribute, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. Yeah, so this is kind of about either we are manipulative or we are fair and just. So this has been a really good year for you to kind of sit back and observe what is going to be a fair and just response to something versus trying to get your way in something. Manipulation is really hard. I think humans don't understand that we manipulate without really trying. I actually find it hard to not manipulate at all. And I know that sounds really weird, but it's like this. I feel like I'm a character in a story, so to speak. And sometimes I don't, I know this, I just feel like a character all the time. So when I'm talking or engaging with people, or I'm like my parents' daughter or something, I don't feel like their daughter a lot of the times. Or I feel like I'm playing a role. So that's why I'm talking about the manipulate. I know that sounds weird, but that's why I keep my engagement with people very minimal because I feel like I'm often, the only place I feel the most natural in is like sharing knowledge. But other than that, I always feel like I'm playing a role. So it just feels like kind of like pretend to me. I don't know. It's very weird. I try to be, I'm like, okay, well, how do I just be myself? Well, I am myself. I have a natural charm. I'm so charming. Now I have a natural way of responding to people, of the way that I do things. I have a natural thing. So yeah, I am being myself, but sometimes I feel like we can easily manipulate people. Oh my goodness. So I always try to be as honest as possible, because I don't want to manipulate anybody ever, because I feel bad about it. So I try to just be direct and honest. And sometimes people are like, you're just direct and honest and awkward. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't want to manipulate people. Okay. So we got child divine, innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. Shadow attribute, an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. Yeah, so we are all children of divine. When we learn this, we're all chosen, then we need not fear. We understand that divine light is in us, and that the negative because we have the divine light in us, we need not worry about the divine forces or fighting on our own or being alone or having to take it all on alone. We are fine. Peace is here. Okay, let's go ahead and pull an affirmation card and roll the astro dice to conclude the reading. I'm just surprised my phone is still on. I'm talking so long. I hope it's still working. Oh, yeah. Oh, we got two. Okay. I choose what I become. So your culmination lesson for 2025 is that you are choosing what you become. You choose, right? Seven of Cups, you got choices, you got options. You choose. You choose you. Physical health and body image. My body is my temple. Yeah, take care of yourself. Your health is your wealth. Your health is your wealth. Your body's a temple. You are a portal. You get to decide what energies get to filter through you. And the more you learn how to keep it clean, whether it's, food you eat or just energy you digest or process, or how you process it, will determine that. Okay, let's go ahead and close out this reading. Venus in the 7th house in Virgo. Venus in Virgo. Interesting. Okay, so it's like purification. 7th house is about balance, kind of that energy of mediation as well. So to conclude your reading, group number 2. This has been a really powerful year for you to find harmony within yourself, to learn how to clean your energy, what works effectively, and to perhaps find what helps you to be very grounded. A Venus in the 7th house would be, that is kind of charming. There's a mass appeal there. There's a people appeal. There's creativity for sure. This is someone who would want to share their creative gifts, who's very open with their creativity with other people. This is someone who is abundant as well. This is someone who is professional, or they're ambitious with their goals. But Venus there brings this sort of harmonizing and pleasant energy to it, where we're creating things that we enjoy, we're sharing things that we enjoy, or work is joyful to us, or maybe we are our work, right? Our self-care is our work. Okay, let me go ahead and just pull a clarifier for this row here for you. I'm related to a Venus in Virgo. Oh, sorry. I almost thought I wasn't recording. I'm related to a Venus in Virgo. I just realized that. Okay, we got 8 of Wands. Mercury, Sagittarius. Okay, they're definitely putting an emphasis on the mind and the psyche there. Yeah, so, sorry, making your mind and your psyche a pleasant place to be in existence. So when we are okay in here, the world is okay. That's what we're concluding. And this 8 of Wands here is showing you that there's constant movement and energy around you all the time, frequently. And it's up to you to master this movement. Mercury in Sagittarius gives you an inspirational mind, right? Very beautiful energy. This to me is also rising in our states of consciousness and our levels of consciousness and evolving. So this has been a powerful year of evolution for you, group number 2. I just want you to give yourself a pat on the back, learning how to find more harmony within yourself. This has been powerful. And this has been a year of progress for you. Definitely a year of Mars, year of progress. And I think you have so much more awesome experiences and adventures to look forward to. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like, subscribe to support, comment down below, be respectful if you want to. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hey, group number 3, welcome to your reading. Welcome to your summary of 2025 reading. So for your nakshatra cards I pulled, you guys got Ardra and Asta. So Ardra is in 6 degrees to 20 degrees, 6 degrees 40 minutes to 20 degrees Gemini, and Asta is in 10 degrees to 23 degrees 20 minutes Virgo. So both of these are Mercurian energies. So this has been a powerful year when it comes to you understanding how your psyche and your mind works. You also have the Tangerine Quartz. So I'll scribe with that for you guys shortly. So Ardra is the King of Swords and Asta is the Six of Pentacles. So looking at Kurt Cobain here on the Game of Thrones. I'm joking. It's because AI made it like that. I said I wanted his hair whipping about in the wind. I didn't say what I wanted his hair or skin to look like, but I laugh because Ardra, Kurt Cobain is a moon in Ardra. So I was like, oh, that's Kurt Cobain. Good job, AI. So we have a man on the throne here, the Game of Thrones. And he's got pentacles flying around him. So that's supposed to be a representation of the Six of Pentacles with Asta Nakshatra. So I think this year has been very interesting, maybe even testy for you when it comes to like some sort of psychological warfare for you. Part of that, because I'm getting a king energy here, I know, we all are mastering our energies, but some of you might have some really powerful air in your chart that you have to figure out how to master, or some very powerful Mercurian energy that you're learning how to master. So that means that you guys are information consumers. You guys are writers, speakers, communicators, and it's very intense for you. There's a lot of things going on up there. And sometimes it can just feel quite overwhelming. Like it can feel like a Game of Thrones where you have things working against you, elements of life working against you. And I think this year has really tested you, to say the least. And it's only helped you to evolve, to open up to possibilities and actual generosity. So Six of Pentacles or Asta Nakshatra is connected to the sun rays coming out. And the sun rays makes things look quite ethereal, quite beautiful. And this has been a year where the interesting thing about Ardra is that after it goes through the storm, the purification storm, it's left with this sort of brilliance afterwards, like a glow. And I think you've learned how to access your glow. And the way that you know someone is glowing is honestly just the way that they're interacting and engaging with the world. There's a bubbliness, maybe even a brightness. And Ardra natives, ironically, can be like the most bubbly people. Even though they have this like intense psyche energy inside of them. There's so many examples out there because this is a lot of famous people who have this placement somewhere in their chart. But you wouldn't even know that they had some like really dark thoughts going on up there because they exercise mental endurance. So this has been a year of mental endurance and sustenance or generosity for you. Group number 2. Yeah. So looking at the Oracle card design, I mean, the thrones look really intimidating and intense. I wanted him to be on a throne of swords because it was a King of Swords. I thought it made sense. And I never really thought about the Game of Thrones throne being connected to a King of Swords. But that whole movie is about, I'd imagine it's about a lot of psychological warfare because you're having to strategize and plan and be smart about conquering your enemies. Right? But in this sense, in a spiritual sense, our enemies are inside of us. They're not outside of us. So we're not here to conquer anyone. We're just here to go within. Ardra is this energy of rebelliousness. It's like a bit of this teenage angst that Kurt Cobain was able to communicate quite perfectly in his music, in his songs. It's a kind of Plutonian as well. It's also connected to, I don't know if it was Shiva. Who's the other guy? Who's Shiva's other personality? Rudra. Yeah, it's connected to Rudra, and Rudra is like the stormy electrical side to Shiva. That's about destruction. So when we learn how to tune into the destruction inside, we're not causing destruction outside. Kurt Cobain used to literally destroy his guitars or whatever he was doing on stage. So that's kind of a lower conscious expression. Don't destroy anything. Don't hurt anyone at all. Don't express destruction, but let it happen internally instead with grace. So the guy on this throne looks quite tense, but he looks quite graceful, and honestly his hair looks great, so he should be happy. He got good hair at the end of it. That's what matters. And he looks golden, like he's shining. And what else is there to add? Yeah, the throne behind him looks really intimidating and intense. And he looks almost angelic, right? He looks kind of angelic. He looks quite unmarred in some sense by life. The only thing that's showing that he's quite marred is maybe the tension in his hands and a little bit in his eyes or in his face. Like he looks a little bit concerned, but like he's trying to hold his own. So this is kind of giving me the energy of like a child, almost like they're going through something and they're like, I don't know if I can handle this. And I think you learned this year, group number 3, that you can handle it. You absolutely can. You are absolutely powerful and capable, and you can handle a lot more than you thought you could. And it only gave you more access to your creative life force. So you should be celebrating this, if anything. Hey, group number 3, I have to take a break because my camera, or my phone camera, went out of battery. That was my fault for not charging it. So I don't remember exactly where we're at, but I think we had just gotten done talking about the nakshatra cards. So let's just go ahead and move forward into pulling some cards and seeing whatever wants to come through. Oh, here's your crystal, tangerine quartz. And let me see if I can see anything. Yeah, I'm seeing a sense of direction. And I'm seeing a guy holding up something. It looks like a mirror. So I think this has been a really good year. So this year has been a really good opportunity for you to reflect on who you are, because I'm seeing someone learning about themselves. They're like staring at the mirror and they're learning something about themselves. But it's also, they're holding the mirror like this and they're staring at it as if they've never seen themselves. They've never seen what they look like before until now. And it's like this whole new, fresh experience. So I think this has been a really good year for you to learn about who you really are and what you want. Because it feels like your identity was tied to expectations, or sorry, I just got done eating something, so it's in my throat still. I feel like you have had moments this year where there's an identity that you were attached to before, a perception of your identity that you were attached to before that wasn't really you. It wasn't really your true self. And I think this has been a really good year for you to learn who your true self is and what you really want out of life, what's important to you. And I keep seeing something else here. Yeah, so what was the stone from Harry Potter? It's like a stone, like a magical stone, like an emerald, or the Philosopher's Stone. That's what it is. I'm seeing like a Philosopher's Stone. So this has been a time of really good self-reflection for you to journal, for you to learn about yourself, for you to learn about, to philosophize, to understand different perspectives of reality, and then also to deepen in your own. So maybe before you did research about other teachers and their philosophies and their perspectives, but this year has been very pivotal in you understanding your own philosophy on life, as opposed to identifying with someone else. You know how we have the Eckhart Tolles out there. We have all kind of we have Yogananda. We have all kind of interesting teachers out there who are spreading their wisdom. But there's something about you needing to dive in deeper to understand your own perception, your own perspective, more than anything, to know who you are. And this is what's helped you immensely. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing like a whole skeletal system, and I think it's sort of rebuilding you into who you are. So just imagine in the storm, I mean, it's going to sound a little gory, but let's just say you lost all the layers of your human self in the storm. You lost your skin, you lost your muscles, you lost everything in the storm, and all you're left is with the skeletal. And then everything starts forming back on top. So if you guys have seen the Frankenstein movie, then you know what I'm talking about. But so the flesh, everything starts to grow back. The flesh starts to grow back. The muscles and all of this starts to grow back and come into play. And this is supposed to be a representation of whatever you lost was a false part of yourself that is no longer relevant to who you are, in what direction you're being called to move in your life. All right, let's go ahead and pull some more cards. Oh, hold on a minute. So, 4 of Pentacles. Let's go ahead and pull that again. So we got the Lovers and we have the Emperor. So Lovers takes us to Gemini energy. This crystal also takes me to Gemini energy. Sometimes I've seen 2 people working in tandem with one another. And that's the 2 parts of ourselves. So that's our divine feminine and our divine masculine inside of us, finding balance and finding harmony. And we have the Emperor here. This has been the year for you to step into your empowerment. We got Mars and Aries. This is the year Mars, and we have Mercury, Gemini. So that's the Asta, the Gemini, and the Virgo energy coming through for your reading. You've been able to step into your empowerment, figure out how your psychology works. This has been a very deeply psychological year for you here. And your psychology, you've realized, really determines what path you take in life, what kind of choices you make in life, how you decide what's important to you, what's not important to you, how you sort through information, how you sift through situations, and you figure out what's relevant and what is not relevant to you anymore. And now this has given you the power to understand who you really are. And now you've built a stable structure on truth. And this is where your stronger sense of leadership and authority is coming into play. So this is going to be important for 2026. Definitely check out that forecast reading that I'm going to have coming up in December, because it's a time of leadership for everybody. But it's not about leading a bunch of people. This is about leading the self. People still don't understand how important it is to focus on leading yourself first before you're leading a bunch of other people. You need to know how yourself operates first. It's important to become a own leader to yourself. We're not here to lead a ton of other people. We can maybe inspire people, but we're here to lead ourselves. So that's kind of what I'm also getting from the Oracle card design. You know, this man looks kind of youthful, but it looks like he's been given an opportunity to step into leadership and take on more responsibility. So it looks like you have been maturing and you are taking on more responsibility for yourself. And you've been finding a way to harness your divine feminine and masculine, and it's been happening deep in your subconscious here and in consciousness, period. And the angels have been elevating your consciousness to a higher state so that you can feel confident in yourself. Yes. Okay, let's pull some more cards to see what else wants to come through for you. We got Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. Yes. Get ready. This is just about understanding that you are the one directing your life. You're the one calling the shots, right? So we spend so much of our life making plans and organizing information and bits and pieces of our life focused around things that are not actually relevant to us, relevant to our fulfillment, sacred to us, sacred to our fulfillment or our journey. We spend a lot of time making plans to do things that are diverting us from our soul mastery and our soul, wherever the journey, our soul is calling us on our journey. So this has been about learning how to make plans in alignment with your soul. Listen to the soul and make plan and organize your life according to it. Here, we got focus, so that's definitely sword energy. She's got a sword and shield. So the shield, the spiritual shield we create, what it is it's a filter. So our shield, or the boundary, is not a fence. It's not just a clear fence. It's a filter. It's a filter. And when you build your shield, the filter gets more thicker. So now you're filtering out more distractions. And now you're not as distracted as you used to be. So this is why some people are so good at achieving their goals, because they filtered out all of the distractions that were keeping them. And this is why a lot of people get caught up in drugs and other things going on, because their filter is not, it's like very loose. So now they're just, anything's falling into their psychic energy field. So now they're pulling in collective psychic energy, they're pulling in people's psychic emotions, because their filter is not very durable. It's not multi-layered. So with each consciousness of level we rise into, our filter gets thicker and the noise gets quieter. Things get quieter, and there's a soft whispering voice. It gets stronger and stronger, or you can discern it more clearly. So I've learned that through these readings. I've learned how to discern those messages better and better over time, because my filter is getting stronger. So now I'm not as privy to the BS. You know, the silly messages and like the drama. I don't do readings on that. Drama going on people's life. I'm like, the drama is in here. The drama is in here. And this is where we need to sort through it. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull some more cards. So I'm going to shuffle this a few times and I'll pull the first one on top. 1, 2, 3. That works. I'm a flyer, so usually I just shuffle until it flies out, but it's funny because another group got this card too. They got, not this card, but they got the reference to the Queen. So this has been a year for you to step into your Queen energy. The irony is that you guys got a guy on the throne. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So she's harnessing her Shakti life force energy. That's the snake. Queen energy. So the Queen energy is that divine feminine essence inside of us that is protective, that is loving, that is caring. The excess of divine or feminine energy is to be overprotective, to be overbearing. Instead, it's better for a feminine energy to be relaxed, receptive. So this has been you honoring and owning your receptive energy. You know, this guy is holding back with restraint on that throne. He's holding onto it. He's sitting back. He doesn't look like he's trying to move anywhere. He's focusing really intensely. And this has been a year where you've been harnessing your Shakti life force energy. You've been tuning into your intuitive abilities and your powers. And this is going to serve you moving forward for your next step. You know, I've already made a video talking about the journey from divine child to kingship or queenship on my other channel. And I was feeling that message needed to be shared because people need to understand what's coming here and what we're being prepared for. So a lot of times people want to rush into things. They want to rush into creating a business, rush into being successful. And I'm like, you don't want to rush God. You don't want to rush divine flow, because you have to be patient with the process. And the process is divinely orchestrated. It's genius. And it's perfectly paced for us. So even if we don't want to sit and we don't want to do all that healing, you got to do it. You got to do it. And the more you listen and you just sit back and do it, the more prepared you're going to be for what's next here. Because Source is trying to help us to divert humanity in general from, destroying itself. We don't have to worry about other things destroying us. We are perfectly capable of destroying ourselves. So you're stepping into your divine essence, royal energy. Here you're understanding your role in society, your role in your dharma, your purpose, your calling, why you exist, who you are. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some more cards and see. We got house 12 here. And we have Sagittarius. So house 12 is about transcendence. It's about connecting to the ether. It's about plugging in to the everything energy around us. This is also where we tune into karma. This is also our past life existence. So, more than likely, we have simultaneous lifetimes. We have past lifetimes. Everybody does. So you can kind of tune into that 12th house knowledge to teach you and show you, who you are and kind of what kind of karma you've downloaded into this lifetime. The 12th house, I often find, it can be karmic depending on the shadow work you're doing. So if you're not doing any shadow work, you're not integrating your shadow, it's going to be very karmic. Otherwise, it's going to be very rewarding. It's going to be a very peaceful house for you, where you're able to access your gifts naturally. You're able to humble yourself effortlessly, like as in you don't get caught up in the hoopla of trying to achieve external things to feel powerful. You feel powerful from within. This house also offers you divine knowledge on how to heal yourself, which is the best kind of advice you can get in this world, is how to heal and how to be of service. If you have a placement in this house, more than likely you've had to give up, you have to humble yourself to life, you've had to give up egoic desires in exchange for pure ones or divine desires, divine, callings, so to speak. So there's a lot of knowledge with the Sagittarius, higher divine knowledge that you've been downloaded with this past year that has taught you who you are. This has been a very powerful year for you to learn who you are, what you are, and what to do about it. We got Neptune and Pisces right now. This is a powerful time. It's going to be there for a while. This is the best time to soak up the best, most accurate knowledge ever. And this is going to teach you how to access your freedom. It's going to teach you how to access more optimism inside of you. And I feel like from this, you're feeling a lot more free to explore, to get out of your comfort zone. Okay, we have Virgin, purification, and Virgo energy coming through. So we have here maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Yes. So that's, again, bringing me back to the filter. Purification is not about not having sex or anything. Purification is about filtering energy through. Obviously sex is an energetic exchange, and you would have to exercise discernment in terms of the partners you decide to invite into your life. But at the core, this energy is about purifying the mind, consciousness. So shadow attribute says fear of intimate union. So people talk about Virgos as prudes for a reason. Yes, they can be, but the intimate union is not about people union. That's not what is important. It's about union with God. So the intimate union is not union with another human. The union they're talking about is with the divine. So that's the most important relationship you're ever going to have in your life, is your relationship to divine. That relationship is ultimately going to determine how you proceed forward in life. It's going to determine the partners you choose. It's going to determine the purpose you follow, right? So don't be afraid to be as close and as intimate with the divine as possible. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close out your reading with an affirmation card, and we have Astro Dice. Yeah, and also Ardra says here cleansing. So this is about cleansing energy. Maybe you cried a lot this year. You shed a lot of tears. I don't know about you. I've never cried so much. The first part of the year, I've never cried so much in my life. I shed so many tears it could fill up a bathtub. But, we got past it. I haven't cried. Well, not because of bad things. Like, I cried because I was watching a movie the other day, or, you get emotional sometimes. But for the most part, no, I haven't cried in months. I've been pretty good. Okay, physical health, body image. I will be productive and energetic today. So this has been a year about learning how to redirect your energy, regenerate your energy better. That is also the Tangerine Quartz. This is a very good productivity energy. I didn't really talk too much about the offset and six of Pentacles, but this is about being productive. This is about using your gifts, right? Whatever your talents or gifts, capabilities you have, and putting them to use. Sorry, my throat. We have here wake up call, details, clock routine. Yeah, so this has been a really good year for you to learn how to purify your routine life, as in like learn how to integrate healthier habits into your life, right? Healthier habits. So your energy ultimately starts from consciousness. So usually people feel very tired and exhausted of the world because of what they're consuming, like the news. I think it's crazy when people watch news all day. I'm like, how could you watch that? It's draining. They constantly keep you in a worried fear state, but that's because they've become addicted to draining their life force energy or getting caught up in drama, right? We have here, my home is filled with joy. My home is filled with joy. So that sense of safety and security, the home is you, right? You are your home. And this is where you create joy, is in here. It's not in a house. It's not a place you go to. So if you've learned to create that sense of joy from inside of you, you are learning something. This is a very energetic crystal as well. Quartz are all about amplification. So maybe you've been learning how to amplify your joy from the inside out. So instead of attaching to negativity, we are connecting to our joy. We are creating joy from the shedding of these draining energies or shadowy energies. We're shedding all of that, and we're feeling lighter and lighter. So this has been a very powerful year, especially with that Sagittarius, for you to be inspired, for you to be more hopeful and joyful. All right, let's go ahead and close out your reading, group number 3. We have Taurus, 7th house, Venus. Another group got Venus in the 7th. Interesting. That's beautiful. Let me go ahead and pull a clarifier to go with that. Oh, look at you, Queen of Pentacles. You a queen, yes you are. Okay. So you've been learning how to tune into your inner beauty. You've been learning how to take care of yourself. The Queen of Pentacles likes to be pampered. She likes to, put on her oils and take a bath and, moisturize her skin and relax. So this has been a really powerful year for you to tune into your receptive energy and to manifest from this space. So I think you might have learned some sort of lesson, when it comes to generosity here with the 6 of Pentacles, around manifesting from a receptive state instead of trying to force things to happen, to make things happen. With that Venus, that's a very harmonious energy. So that means that you guys have been doing a beautiful job of harmonizing with yourself, of balancing your energy and really grounding yourself. And the only thing we can create a foundation in and ground ourselves in is in truth. When we ground ourselves in truth, our foundation is solid for life. So solid, so strong. So it looks like you've been building your value system off of the truth. And this has helped to stabilize your foundation. And I'm hearing that you succeeded. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you succeeded and that you should be celebrating because you've essentially grown in your manifestation capabilities. And this has helped to balance you out to the point where it's made you very magnetic. Group number 3. So this was a year to learn how to become magnetic, how to become more of a powerful manifester, not from like trying to like, maybe this wasn't the year where you're like, oh, I'm manifesting all the things I want. That's not what a powerful manifester is. A powerful manifester is a conscious manifester. A conscious manifester is someone who knows how to be receptive and relax. A powerful manifester is someone who manifests with divine and in co-creation with divine. A powerful manifester doesn't force. A powerful manifester understands the difference between money and abundance. Money is a matrix system. Abundance is a flow of resources. So this has been you learning how to master that. And I think you guys accomplished it because I'm getting really positive, beautiful, bright energy from this. And be excited because there's just more things that are going to grow from this. You know, learning how to stabilize your foundation. It's like giving your plant really good soil, right? Versus giving it like dry, old dirt. Instead, you put in like really rich soil. And I hear that in order to create really rich soil, you can use compost. So you can use things that have like died, like plants, compost. You can turn your compost into fertilizer for your soil, and it can actually help to enrich the nutrients in your garden. So that's what you've been doing. And part of that compost was created from the dead things, right? The transformation, things dying and shedding. So these are like old habits and old things. And when we shed those things, initially, sometimes it feels quite painful because we were attached to it. We identified with it. And then once we let it go, it becomes compost. And then from that compost will come a beautiful plant. I made a short about this. What is it called? Hope? I made a short about this a long time ago, like 7 months ago or something. I made a short about this. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like really good, rich soil to grow beautiful plants. And now that your soil is great, just get excited for what's to come. Group number 3, look forward to that. Look forward to the 2026 forecast video that's coming in December. I'll be dropping that. All right, I hope you guys have a beautiful day or evening. Like, subscribe to support, comment down below, be respectful. I hope you have a beautiful one. Bye. Dare to be, dare to believe, do your healing in your creation.